Hi, everybody. It's Mimi from Be Heard, Empower Yourself. And I have Erin Celise with me today, my good friend. Hi, Erin.
Hi, Mimi. It's been a long time.
I know we texted a few times, but life gets in the way.
Yeah.
The other day I was doing all these things and I said, I just want to do something fun. It was like, ah. So today, though, we're going to step into a story that feels like a film unfolding in real time. Aligned is Erin Celise's intimate, unfiltered account of the moment her world just changed and the journey that followed when she finally chose to listen to the tremors that she was feeling inside. I'm calling it tremors. You can explain it your way. And at its core, aligned is the story of a woman who stopped running from her truth. I could get that and started rising into the truth. And it's not written from the mountaintop, it's written from the climb. I like that. And from the messy middle, from the moments when everything felt like it was falling apart, only to reveal what was finally coming together. And this is more than an interview today. This is a woman stepping fully into her alignment and inviting us to do the same. So, welcome, Erin. I hope
Thank
I
you.
didn't hold you up too much now. That intro, oh my God, how am I getting?
I know that's a lot.
That was how amazing it made you sound. But
Wow, thank you.
we'll start at the beginning and not the book beginning, but the soul beginning.
Mhm.
What was the moment that you realized something inside you was shifting, that you were no longer able to live out of alignment with yourself?
Well, I think I can't even say that there's a moment. I think soul alignment it's a process and there's little steps. And, that's where like the whole actions framework came from, where there's a beginning and a middle and an end of kind of this journey, but then you do it again and you do it again. So I do know there's a couple pivotal moments though. The first one was with my very abusive husband and thinking it, long story, very short, but there was a moment where I was, we're like 6 years in and I'm like, I can stick this out. I will do it because I can be strong enough. He
Mm.
said all the things, and this is getting pretty raw here, but yeah, he said the things, if
Yeah.
I left, he would not be alive anymore, and no one would ever love me. I was too cold to love, and it was his
Mm.
duty. Like, he really dug in to be the one that could love me. And I was laying there thinking about my whole life, and this was in my 20s, and
Yeah.
I thought, I went all the way to my deathbed and I thought about my last words, and in this vision my last words were, well, that sucked. And
Yeah, that's your last words. Okay, before you
those were
die.
my last words. And I went, what am I doing? Like, why do I need to think I need to be the martyr for this person to try to keep his life together? Like,
Exactly.
there was a moment when I said, no, this is my life that I have to live.
Yeah.
And I got out of there, and it was messy and it was hard, and it took way too many years, as those things do, way too many.
Oh, yes.
Um,
I can
but
imagine that. Yeah.
but just with, my ability to keep doing the same thing over, because I really hadn't figured out how to be aligned yet. I got into a second not great relationship, and
Oh, you did. Oh,
I did.
you
I
just like
did. So
a woman. That's a woman thing. We do that though, because I
we,
think we
some
want
of
to
us
fix
do. I
them.
don't think all of us do, but
A lot. Enough.
it was looking at the situation I was in, and this was after something was broken against the wall and words were said to me, and I realized, and this is the father of my twins, and I
Mhm.
said, I cannot let my daughter grow up thinking this is how to be treated, or my son grow up thinking this is how to treat people.
Exactly.
And I left with basically no job and 14-month-old twins.
Yeah.
So
Like
you've
really.
had a baby. Think of like just over a year old.
I
Two of
love
them.
it too. I relate. And
Yeah.
one of the things that struck me while reading the line is how intentional and emotionally precise the writing feels. It's raw, like you use the word raw, but it's also beautifully crafted. Like every sentence was pulled from a deeper place. That's how I felt. And what did it take to write with that level of honesty and clarity?
It took, well, it was like there was part of me that really that wanted to hold back. And I think some parts I did. As you know, it's a future sci-fi dystopian novel
Yeah,
with my story woven in. And so
yeah,
there's definitely parts that are real, like those Quinn, the main character, her stories are my stories. But
mhm,
being kind of a parable, I didn't turn it into, this war torn thing, but her overall landscape is kind of the internalness that we find ourselves in when we either stay too small or as they say, and as one of the characters says, like, you don't need to see bars to be in a cage. Like
oh, yes, very nice.
you're in a cage
Mhm.
of kind of your own making. And Quinn goes through this thing, kind of what I did, like, what am I doing? But in her world, that's everybody. Everybody's in this world. And it's almost like take where we're at right now with technology and
Mhm.
then advance it to the future where technology is running our lives. And everybody's just okay with that. Everybody stopped fighting. We're
Yeah,
all just kind of numb to it. That's what we do. She
yeah,
stepped out. She was like, hold on. What she did is get back to herself as the messy human, not
yeah,
optimized for society and
yeah,
the best social outcome, I suppose, even though really it ends up being her best social outcome. But just like, how do you
yeah,
step out of line and just admit you're messy
yeah.
but sovereign, like yourself? And that's
Well,
kind of I ended up in my life.
yes, and I want people to know, if they don't already know, that we cooperate with each other on a couple of subjects that we do episodes on, and all this kind of relates to each other. Okay. So, my last book I just wrote is Anatomy of an Alien. And I want to say that it's a medical mystery, paranormal medical mystery, because yours is like paranormal mystery, right? Yeah, yeah, Sherlock
Yep.
cover. So I don't have much of mine here, but I don't. Terrible. I'm terrible at advertising. Oh, no, wait. No, I do, because I ordered some.
Oh,
Oh,
magic shelf.
yeah. Yeah, there you go.
Wonderful. There you go. Whoops.
Oh, it's hard. It's hard. It's hard to do this
You're
stuff.
disappearing, but
Yeah. Oh, I know. Here. How's
there
that?
we go.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
that's backwards. But that's
It is not backwards. It's
well, when I look at it, it's backwards. Okay. Well, that's my. But the thing is that I bring that up because one of our shows is spirit guides and Akashic records and, different lives and star seeds. And the star seeds part of our show is in this book, that part. And my medical problems that I have, many, and they're always strange. So it's a paranormal medical mystery because you have to read the book to decide if I'm a starseed.
mm,
And then at the end, you find out. So I took actually a couple of our shows and my real life. And people like it. I think they get a kick out of that I could be part alien. I'm not your normal person, that's for sure. So we are going to do some more of those shows. So look out for them. Let's see, what are we calling? Is it spiritual realignment?
it's
The
soul
one
realignment.
soul realignment.
Erin and Mimi, or Mimi and Erin.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then align. we calling it? No, not align. Your format. The format that we always talk about. Like what letter are you on? I'm
Oh,
on
and the action step.
action steps. We have that one. See, it's been too long because I can't even remember the titles. So let me ask you this. Let's get back on focus. Let's talk about the word itself, the word aligned.
Mhm.
Um, what does alignment mean to you now after everything that you've gone through?
It is being where your actions are positively towards your essentially kind of your soul's purpose. And that's part of the work I do when I do Akashic Records readings and explanations and everything with people and kind of dig into that. But we're always going to be either working in alignment or out, kind of positive or negative. And the positives don't always look the same for everybody. And it really depends on what your soul story is, who you are at soul level, what that looks like. But for me, that really looks like kind of digging into more using my voice and speaking a truth. And that is kind of really key to me being in alignment. When I stop doing that, what's interesting is when I'm out of alignment, I run into situations where I am misunderstood all the time. And I'll find it at work or something, and it'll just be like, that's not what I said. Like, it seems like nothing I say,
Yeah.
people aren't comprehending it how I say it. And
Yeah.
to me, I'm like, okay, something's going on, because like that's part of it, is that if I'm out of alignment, it's just whatever I say is kind of going to be on deaf ears. And
Yeah.
I got to look at that and see, is it my messaging? Is it my audience? Is it, what's
Yeah.
going on internally?
And you mentioned positive and negative when you're talking about
Mhm.
alignment. Sometimes you could think it's negative and it's really something positive. You just don't know at the time. I
Yeah.
found like, right? So you're going through something and it's really awful and it's tearing you apart, and then it was for your own good, but you didn't know that.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
really the alignment can come after that. Like, what do you do with that information after?
Yeah. Yeah. Because
Or what are your
shocking things.
choices? And then how
Yes.
are you dealing with it?
I've had with people and with my own body, my health, some shocking things going on lately. But I'm like taking it one day at a time, and I'm meditating more. I'm meditating more because what I do now is it's like, okay, I'm having a little anxiety. Let me do a meditation. I like to listen to meditations. I mean, I am, everybody's different. I know people that meditate and they're just blank. I can't do that. I need someone to talk to me. I like the nice guidance and be calm and everything's fine. So I'm doing that. I'm still in counseling. I'm looking at each medical situation separately and not saying, oh, I have three different things wrong with me. And my husband, of course, I got him a center, which at first he said to me, I'm doing this for you. And I said, yeah, you are doing it for me. Yeah, you are, because they take him at 9 and bring him back at 2:30. And we have an aide that's supplied to us for 2 hours. So that helps. So I used to take on his depression.
Mhm.
And, I had to find a way to not do that. I have enough of my own. I don't need his. It's not fun having Parkinson's and all that, but, I do the best I can with him. So let's get off that. So you must have had some resistance, internal resistance, because in the early stages of your evolution and in the book, that's what I was talking about before when I mentioned an inner tremor.
Mhm.
That's like resistance. Was there something like that going on that pushed you into this towards the transformation?
Yes, there is. And I really am grateful. Like to me, it was a great discovery of Akashic records. And that would be the
Yeah.
modality that I could really lean on and get into and, tap into for meditation and asking big questions and getting some really calming answers back. But I think for a long time, that tremor was like, oh, poor me. I'm in this situation. It's happening to me again. It's like all happening to me. And I moved a lot in my youth. Like I would move. That was it. This place is bad. I'm going to a new place. I'll start over. What the heck? Here I am again. And it took several years to realize what is the common factor here? It's not the state I'm in. It's not the house I'm in. It's not the relationship I'm in. It's me. And to kind of go, oh, that humbling experience of what I call now, like, you are the divine creator of your own experience. You
Yeah.
are the one that creates it. Now, that's going to look really different to a lot of people. And I struggled with that because, oh, so it's my fault if I was at this place and this bad thing happened. Not necessarily, because everyone else is also the creator of their own experience. And sometimes those two timelines, however you want to call it, kind of clash. And so whatever they're doing is affecting you, but
Yeah.
you still have a choice how you deal with it after. Like I said before, like it might not be what happened in the moment, but how do you deal with it after? Do you keep staying the victim, or do you find, a
Yeah.
way to improve or be more, or, learn from
Integrate.
it? Yeah,
And
integrate it.
before we even get to that part, when you're deciding and thinking about making big changes, like leaving a man or whatever, for me, I think it's like you have your intuition, you have your gut feelings that are telling you you're doing the right thing. But then you have that other side, that fear of,
Yes.
oh, I'm gonna, but I do love him. And maybe if I stayed or tried something else. Did you find that kind of a push pull?
Yeah. Yeah. I'll kind of give away one part in the book, but at one point she gets a message through her AI unit that we learn about very early on, but it
Yeah.
says, you weren't there for Marcus. And Quinn's really upset about that. What are you talking about? I stayed in that relationship. Like I was there for him, but that's not
Mhm.
what the message was at all. Like, she wasn't there for him. She was there for herself, to try to prove something that she needed to prove about herself.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it doesn't make her wrong. Like, there's not a judgment on you doing that, but
No.
there's some part of you that's the reason you're staying in these things, is because of you. So
Yeah.
once you can start seeing that, you can make a choice. You make a choice. Am I staying in this? And this is where I want to be for some reason, because I need something out of it, or not.
Oh, yeah.
So
I think a lot of women in abusive relationships, I mean, I was in two. It's like you think you can fix him if you love him enough and you do the right things, or you think you're not good enough. You don't have enough self-esteem. And usually abusive men make sure that you don't. you know, they'll tell you awful things. That you'll get dressed and they'll say, "Oh, you look terrible. Put something else on." I mean, really, that's just a simple example. But, you know, and you stay there, or your kids, or whatever it is. So it's like, it's really hard to, you're making the right decision, but to actually implement the steps you need to do, you drag your feet sometimes, you know. I did, throw him out and then let him come back in because he's sorry and he's crying, you know, only to go through the whole crap again. So, so let's do this. What surprised you the most in your personal evolution towards alignment? Like, what surprised you?
maybe that I could get there at all. I think, because also that it is not, well, I have an analogy, but that it's not a destination. Like, we're not walking around saying, I'm aligned. That's not it. It's in your
Exactly.
words and your actions and how you
Yeah.
feel internally.
Yeah.
And when the world is throwing all this stuff at you and you feel like I can't possibly deal with it all, or I can't possibly, some of us, fix everything. Like it's my
Yeah.
responsibility to fix the entire world. And that was actually a message I had recently, because just, everything in the world, and I just take it on and I consume social media and news and just try to suck it all in and try to find, when is this going to end? And the message was, you're not responsible for the world, just your peace.
You're a piece of it. Yeah.
I mean, PIECE
Exactly.
and PEACE too, like
Yeah.
my piece of peace. And I was like, okay. And maybe that's an obvious statement, but just when you start kind of spiraling into, I need to fix everything. And just to kind of hear that message, like, no, you are responsible for your part. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, you get to define what your part looks like.
I'm learning that. I mean, at this age, I turned 77 and I still haven't learned this, that I don't have to help or fix everybody. Even now, like a friend of mine, new friends, you have like new friends or acquaintances, they're becoming your friends. She said, will you do my taxes for me? And I went, sure. What the heck? Right? And then another new friend said, can you help me find a job? Because if I don't find a job soon, I'm going to be homeless. And I'm trying to find a job for her, you know. And I'm in this thing that I'm told by my counselor that when my granddaughter texts me, even if it's $10, she says, I need $10. Say no. And no is a complete sentence. And I've been doing that. But, she gets mean. This is so hard to find that alignment. So hard.
It
And
is. There's
uh,
there's a lot of boundaries and deep, kind of just deep breathing, like,
yeah,
okay, yeah, figure out where you are, figure out where they are, and
yeah,
allow yourself. And there's a lot of visuals I come up with clients, and a lot of women going through this and through challenging things and divorce and family and whatever else. And some of these visuals will just come up and I'll share them
yeah,
with people. And sometimes it's an umbrella, and like, it's okay, you
yeah,
have that umbrella kind of over you, so when they're trying to rain down their energy, it
yeah.
just drips off the side. Like,
Oh, I'm gonna have to use that vision, an umbrella. That might help. Can you describe the moment when you've actually felt like you were crossing a threshold into a new version of yourself? Like you're actually going over the curbstone.
yeah, I mean, one point was when I actually hit submit and published the book,
I
because
remember
putting words out there, like, I am really good at doing stuff and not so good at finalizing it.
we had
I
talked
am,
about that on one of our shows because it was like, you have the book. What are you doing, Erin?
I'm in the middle of so many things, and to actually finish one
However,
and be like, okay, I did it. Like, I put words out in the world, and not only that, I talked about those words.
yes, yes. But we were doing an episode on how to self-publish your book. And your book was actually finished because I asked a question about the book and where you were, and you went, oh, it's finished. I said, oh, it's finished. Did you publish it? And you said, oh, not yet. And then I think the next day or soon after you published it, right? Is
Yes.
that
And yep,
way?
it was that editing and editing and editing, and this doesn't sound quite right. And then finally I just said, you know what? I'm going to put it out. It's not going to be perfect. And it
And you
wasn't.
said, do it.
Yes. And it wasn't perfect. And
Oh,
so the second version is much more refined than the first, but yep, I just had to get something out there.
now the
And then,
second version, I did that with my first book. I called it the second edition. It's the same book, but it's like you said, it's better. And I added things and I refined things. So when you talk about this other book, is it the same book that you just refined it? It's the
Yeah.
same story.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
It is the same,
Yeah.
but there were some parts where, reading it again, you're like, that doesn't quite make sense. And
Yes.
I need to add this and let's bridge these two things. And, how did she get from A to C?
Yeah.
Where's B? So
Yeah.
get some of those things in there. And I don't know. It worked.
Yeah. You got it. You got it out. That's great. So, what old identity or belief was the hardest one for you to release on your way to becoming aligned? Because I just told you mine, not saying no.
Yeah. I guess kind of a big theme is that, like, I can't. It's this, well, I don't have enough information. I'm not ready. It's kind of this, I'm not ready. I
I
can't.
felt that. I felt that whenever we did our shows about writing and talked about your book, and I felt that about you, and you're so, to me, like you're filled with such wisdom and such a way gaining more wisdom and doing unique things and brave and unusual things, but yet you had that little bit of self-doubt, you know, and I thought that's why I was like pushing you a little bit those last couple episodes. And and your spirit guides probably too. We're pushing it. And then we had the book and that was great. And what do you feel now that you have finished your awesome book and it's out there? How do you feel about that?
I am very proud of it. It's time for step 2. Like, I did it, I got it out. I did about a month challenge with myself about selling copies, and then I just kind of dropped everything. So that was, the life coming in.
Yeah.
There was a lot that I just said, nope, I can't focus on this right now.
Yeah.
And that fog is kind of lifting. And so I'm ready to get back into it. But even within that, I reached out to somebody. We had co-wrote a book 12 years ago,
Mm.
maybe even more. And I said, let's get it out there. Because I go, do you
Yeah.
really
No.
this? And
Yeah.
she goes, yes. So we started talking. And so we're going to get this one out and published.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's sitting there on your desk or whatever, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
great.
And it was, I had lost it. I lost the manuscript. And then I found a copy I had made because I wanted to read it to my kids, because it's actually like a young adult novel,
Mhm.
fantasy story. And we read most of it. And then it really wasn't done. And they're like, what happens? I go, I don't
Have to
know.
finish
But
it.
anyway, I found the actual paper
Mhm.
and I'm like, how am I going to digitize this? Well, my son wanted to look at an old laptop and we had to like hold the plug in because it wouldn't stay on. And we got just enough power to find the files and email them to me. And so
Wow.
I called my friend Kim. I'm like, you're never going to believe this. I
That's
have it.
amazing. That's amazing. See,
So
there you go. That's the universe's part in there, you know, saying, let's give her a little help, right?
it's
Yeah.
probably
And
good. I have a laptop graveyard in the cupboard too. I just keep all the old laptops. So it was still in there.
I just want to tell people that, like I check in once in a while in a author writing type group on the internet. And oh my God. And these people, I don't know how old, some of them are older, some of them are kids, but they're whining and they're saying, oh, yeah, I got my check from Amazon this week. It was 5 cents. And I'm thinking, what are you doing though? Like you wrote the book, but what are you doing?
Mhm.
And with me, it's like word of mouth is a big thing. I talk about it. Well, I have 4 books, 3 of them that I'm proud of. The fourth one I don't talk about, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Rewrite it, take it off. Anyway, but I always talk to strangers. I give them my card, and I do a lot of social media on Instagram and TikTok. And now I'm into making these little ads. There's a program out now where
I've seen them.
Oh, you see, how did you like
Yes, I've seen them.
I found that. I said, oh, we did that. And, last year around this time, I got my thing from Amazon, whatever form they call that for your taxes. And I sold like probably 100 books. Now, for an unknown person, that's pretty good. I mean, people write books and no don't sell any, right? So this year I got it and I sold 200 books this year.
Nice.
Yeah. And that means that whatever I'm doing is working. And there's lots of ways to market and all this stuff, right? You don't have to use all of them because if you try, you're going to get overwhelmed. I mean, I don't have a staff. The one day I said to myself, I need an assistant, but I don't make enough money to hire an assistant. But
Not yet.
no. So how are you marketing this book?
Social media. I've done
Yeah.
some press releases, but really
Podcasts we're
it'll
doing.
end up being, yeah, the podcast. So I will definitely more the word of mouth. I think now to reach out to some local bookstores. I had a booth at a couple holistic health fairs.
Yeah, whatever you do, I mean, it gets out there. And I just heard someone on a show, on a talk show of some sort, Bill Maher or whatever, and he was saying that podcasts and YouTube are going to be the deal.
Hmm.
Like they're taking over. That's what the kids want to do. They don't want to watch TV and they're not going to read books, you know, even our digital books, like maybe. And and I thought to myself, oh, good, I got in 5 years ago. I got in at the beginning with the YouTube and the podcast because when people find out I have like over 150 episodes, it's like, wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And anyway, what I was getting is that you will find what you like doing. And I like just every place I go, this is how I open the door, especially young people. I said, can I ask you a question? And I go, sure. And I go, do you like to read, go on YouTube, or do you like to go on like social media or listen to podcasts? And they always answer me. And I just asked a young man yesterday in a store, the checkout guy, and he said, well, I like all of them, but lately I think I like YouTube.
Hmm.
I'm
Mhm.
getting away from reading and I like to watch YouTube shows. I said, well, I have 150 active subs. Here's my card. And he read like the titles of the books and everything. And he's like, this is so cool. I'm going to watch it tonight. And I'm like, yes, please. And when I come in the store again, tell me what you like. But I have had people, I've gone back to one of my doctors. I'm one of the staff there. I'll say, oh, I'm watching your podcast. I'm
Nice.
like, I'm getting that. I'm getting that. And now I want to ask you, like you said, press releases. Like, how do you do that? Like, I know how to make up the writing part, but then how do you communicate is it a newspaper, magazine? Who are you sending it to?
I have credentials, and so I send them out through APY or myself.
So you ask credentials as like a journalist or a writer?
More like a person who can put out press releases through a
Okay.
system. So yeah, I mean, I can do it for other people, but mostly I've just only done it for myself.
Maybe I'll send you mine.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of ways you could do things and you have to figure out how to do them. And so far, I have not spent too much money. I dabbled like with those ads. They weren't real expensive, really, but I'm having fun with them too. I really have fun with those ads, and the kids like them. So we'll see what happens. But I want to tell you, I'm so proud of you. So
Oh.
proud because I was on the part of this journey, the end. And today, I want to thank you for your courage and your honesty and for giving this book that doesn't just tell a story, it invites us into our own story. Because everyone tuning in, listening today, I'm sure they are going to walk away from this episode a little braver and maybe also a little softer because you can be both, but definitely a little more aligned with the truth of who you are. So, thank you again for coming. It's wonderful to see you as usual. And we'll have to do one of our episodes. We'll have to decide. I think I want to do a spiritual one. I think that's what we'll do next. And then we'll do one on publishing, and then we'll do the format one, your program.
That sounds brilliant to me.
Yes, get us out of the everyday yucky stuff. So everyone, I want you all to be honored that you got to hear Erin today. And this is Be Heard, Empower Yourself. And today we heard a woman rise. So you go and do the same thing.